Hello all my dear student friends. Welcome to this session. Are you ready to study the second chapter, that is IC engine testing? The second chapter of the subject power engineering and refrigeration. It is necessary to test the engine, my dear friends. So this chapter is very important because we are always interested to know the performance of the engine, and we can theoretically judge the performance of the engine, but we can't ensure the performance of the engine until and unless we test the engine practically. So we are interested to test the engine practically. So we are performing the various trials on the engine, and we are finding out the various parameters of the engine, various parameters related with the engine like the efficiency, the fuel consumption, etc. are very important, which define the performance of the engine. So this chapter we are going to study so that we can practically test the engine and find out the performance of the engine. Now in this chapter we are going to study the following things. We are going to start with the engine terminology. We are going to study the bore stroke in engine terminology, the definition of the stroke and the bore, then the TDC, BDC, IDC and ODC, that is top dead center, bottom dead center, inner dead center, outer dead center, etc. We are going to study the piston speed, swept volume, clearance volume, total cylinder volume, compression ratio, expansion ratio and cutoff ratio. Mean effective pressure is very important. We are going to find out the thermal efficiency. So first of all we are going to define the thermal efficiency, and then we are going to find out the thermal efficiency practically also. The relative efficiency we are going to define. The volumetric efficiency is also equally important, and what is of much importance is the brake specific fuel consumption of the engine. So this parameter we are always defining, and we are denoting this parameter. We are calling this parameter in short as BSFC. So BSFC means brake specific fuel consumption. So in this chapter we are also going to perform the Morse test in order to find out the frictional power and the mechanical efficiency of the engine. The motoring test can also be used to find the frictional power and the mechanical efficiency of the engine. Then the heat balance sheet of the engine is also important, because the heat balance sheet gives the account of the energy which is supplied to the engine and the energy which is dissipated and the energy which is obtained from the engine. So let us go ahead and start with the engine terminology. So this is a simple sketch of an engine. You can see the piston and you can see the cylinder, right? So cylinder is just like a pipe, cylindrical shape. So inner surface of the cylinder is cylindrical and the shape is like a pipe. Inside the cylinder you are having the piston. The shape of the piston is also cylindrical from outer side. The outer surface of the piston is cylindrical and the inner surface of the cylinder is cylindrical. So the piston is reciprocating inside the cylinder. So that you already know. So the other parts of the engine, the crankcase, this is the crankcase of the engine. Then this is the crankshaft of the engine which rotates. Then this is the connecting rod. After connecting rod, this is the crank. Crank performs complete revolution along with the crankshaft. The crank is performing complete revolution. At this point the crank is connected to the connecting rod by a pin joint or a hinge joint. So the crank and the connecting rod form a turning pair. Similarly, the turning pair exists between the connecting rod and the piston or sometimes piston rod. This is the top dead center. The extreme position of the piston at the top, that is towards the cylinder head, This portion is called as the cylinder head, and this we have seen is the crankcase. And this is a vertical engine. In vertical engine, always the cylinder head is at the top, whereas the crankcase is at the bottom. And the extreme position of the piston at the top, that is closest to the cylinder head, is called as the top dead center, TDC. In case of horizontal engine, this position is called as inner dead center or IDC for the engine. So the piston is moving from the top dead center to the bottom dead center. The motion of the piston from the top dead center to the bottom dead center is called as stroke. So once again I will show the motion of the piston from the top dead center to the bottom dead center is called as the stroke. Or the piston is also moving from the bottom dead center to the top dead center, that is also called as the stroke of the piston. So the stroke is nothing but the motion of the piston from one extreme position to the other extreme position, either from TDC to BDC or BDC to TDC. In case of horizontal engine, stroke is nothing but the motion of the piston from IDC to ODC or from ODC to IDC. So that is the definition of the word stroke. And this is nothing but the stroke length, the distance covered by the piston as it moves from TDC to BDC or BDC to TDC is called as the stroke length, denoted by capital L. So as the motion of the piston, the distance covered by the piston as it moves from one extreme position to the other extreme position is called as the stroke length of the engine. The piston is now moving from the bottom dead center to the top dead center. So this is the extreme position of the piston at the top, which is closest to the cylinder head. Now there is some gap, some clearance, some space between the cylinder head and the extreme position of the piston at the top. So this space is called as the clearance space, denoted by VC. So this VC is nothing but the clearance volume. So this volume, some space exists between the cylinder head and the piston when it is lying at the top dead center. So that is called as VC, that is the clearance volume. So VC is equal to clearance volume is equal to volume between cylinder head and piston when piston is at top dead center or inner dead center. So let us continue the study of the engine terminology. We have studied stroke. Now bore is nothing but the internal diameter of the cylinder, or sometimes it is also called as the bore diameter. So the internal diameter of the cylinder is called as bore or bore diameter. So TDC top dead center, BDC bottom dead center, IDC is inner dead center and ODC is outer dead center. So IDC and ODC are used when the engine is horizontal. The piston speed is equal to 2ln. The speed of the piston, the speed with which the piston moves from the top dead center to the bottom dead center. Actually the speed of the piston varies, but we can find out the average speed. So the speed of the piston can be given by this equation 2L into N, where L is the stroke length we already seen and N is the RPM of the crankshaft or the crank. The swept volume of the piston or the engine, the volume swept by the piston, that is the swept volume of the engine. So that is equal to the piston area multiplied by the stroke length, A into L, that is the swept volume, the volume swept by the piston during one stroke. The clearance volume, we already seen that the clearance volume is the volume between the cylinder head and piston when piston is at TDC or IDC. Total cylindrical volume is equal to clearance volume plus swept volume. So the total volume of the cylinder is the sum of the clearance volume and the swept volume. So again we are going to define the compression ratio. So compression ratio is nothing but the volume before compression divided by volume after compression, V1 upon V2. So V1 is the volume before compression, V2 is the volume after compression. So after compression the volume is reduced. So V2 is less than V1. Before compression volume is larger, right? So this compression ratio will be greater than 1 if compression takes place. Now the expansion ratio is nothing but the ratio of the volume after expansion to the volume before expansion. Now again, the volume after expansion will be larger and the volume before expansion will be smaller. So expansion ratio is also greater than 1. So these definitions already we have studied while studying the power cycles, Otto cycle, diesel cycle. While studying the diesel cycle, we have also studied the cutoff ratio. So cutoff ratio is the ratio of the volume at the end of fuel supply to the volume at the beginning of fuel supply. So V3 upon V2, V3 is the volume at the end of fuel supply and V2 is the volume at the beginning of fuel supply, and V3 upon V2 is nothing but cutoff ratio. Now we are going to define the important term, that is the mean effective pressure. In case of IC engines, this term is very important. It is important whenever we are going to solve the numericals also. So mean effective pressure is the constant net fictitious pressure that if operated on the piston during the entire cycle. So actually the pressure which is acting on the piston varies continuously during the cycle, but we imagine some pressure which is constant, the net pressure, and that is the imaginary or fictitious pressure. If such a pressure which is constant, which is the net pressure, of course that will be the imaginary pressure because practically the pressure is varying. So if we imagine some pressure which is the net pressure and the constant pressure, if that pressure is acting on the piston during the entire cycle, and it would produce the same amount of net work as that produced by the actual varying pressure in the actual cycle. So the actual varying pressure in the actual cycle is producing some amount of net work, but this pressure is varying. Now if you imagine some constant net pressure, which is, if that pressure is acting on the piston throughout the cycle and that would produce the same amount of net work, that pressure is called as the mean effective pressure. So mean effective pressure is, in simple words, it is the average pressure. The average pressure acting on the piston which will produce the same output as is done by the varying pressure during the cycle. So the output is same, the power output will be same, that means the net work which will be obtained during one cycle will be same, but the pressure is constant, the net pressure will be constant, and that net constant pressure is called as the mean effective pressure. But actually the pressure is varying and it is giving some power output. Now this we can try to study with the help of some example. So this is with the help of this figure. So in this figure you can see that this is the actual indicator diagram. So this is the suction stroke. During the suction stroke, this is the value of the pressure. Then we are having the compression stroke, the pressure is continuously varying. Here the heat is supplied, then the expansion takes place, and then the exhaust takes place. So you can see that the pressure is varying continuously, right? So instead of this varying pressure, if we try to have such a constant pressure, and the area below this line, this area is suppose equal to this area below this curve. So this is the positive loop and this is the negative loop. So the positive loop minus negative loop is the net area, and this area is equal to this area. This area represents the net work done during one cycle. So if both the area is same, then this height represents the mean effective pressure. Height represents the mean effective pressure, right? So let us study this with the help of one more figure. Let us go to this figure. So again, this is the figure of the actual indicator diagram, right? So you can see in the actual indicator diagram, this is the atmospheric pressure line, and the real pressure is continuously varying. During the suction stroke, the pressure is lower than the atmospheric pressure, then it increases during the compression stroke. Here the heat is supplied at almost constant pressure. Then this is the expansion. During expansion the pressure is reduced, and then this is the exhaust, and during the exhaust stroke the pressure is slightly above the atmospheric pressure. So this pressure is continuously varying, but it is giving some mechanical work, it is some work output is obtained during one cycle. So that work output will be same if the mean effective pressure is constant. So instead of this, we try to have this value of pressure, mean effective pressure. This is the value of the mean effective pressure, right? So instead of having the varying pressure, let us try to have a constant pressure. The value of this pressure, we say it is the mean effective pressure, PM or MEP means mean effective pressure. So if this is the value, then this is the area which we obtain between the constant pressure line and between the top dead center and bottom dead center limits. So this area will be equal to this area, right? So the amount of work will be same. That means this area is equal to the area which is below or between these curves, this constant, this varying pressure curve, and this is nothing but the constant pressure line. So the area is same, so the amount of net work is also same. So we are getting the same amount of net work by making this pressure constant. Of course this is an imaginary thing, that we try to make the pressure constant and we can obtain the same amount of work, because the area of this rectangle is equal to this area which is occupied by this curve. So this curve, this area minus this area is the net area which represent the work done. So this is nothing but the mean effective pressure. So we have studied today the stroke, bore, top dead center, bottom dead center, inner dead center, outer dead center. At the same time, we have also studied the piston speed, stroke length. Piston speed is equal to 2 ln, L is the stroke length, N is the RPM. What we have studied, just we revise in short quickly. Swept volume is equal to piston area into stroke length. Clearance volume is equal to total cylinder clearance volume we have studied. So the clearance volume is nothing but the volume of the cylinder above the piston when the piston is at the top dead center, at the extreme position. That is the clearance volume. Then the total cylinder volume is equal to clearance volume plus swept volume. Then we have studied the compression ratio, expansion ratio, we have studied cutoff ratio, we have studied the mean effective pressure. So mean effective pressure, mathematically it is the ratio of the work done per cycle to the stroke volume. So mean effective pressure is equal to ratio of the work done per cycle to the stroke volume. So thank you my dear friends. Thank you one and all.